every year, when the IIT-JEE results are announced, one student becomes the face of India's toughest examination, the topper. For a few days, he or she is everywhere, from giant hoardings outside coaching institutes to news channels and newspapers. Coaching institutes claim his or her story as a proof of success. And then, slowly, they disappear from the public attention. But where do they actually go after topping one of India's most competitive examinations? Do they become engineers, professors, entrepreneurs, bureaucrats? Do they stay in India or leave? Hello, welcome to ThePrint. This is Nutan Sharma and I have tracked 20 IIT-JEE AIR 1 holders from 2000 to 2019. And when you place these trajectories together, they reveal something larger than individual success stories. They reveal how the aspirations of India's brightest engineering students changed over 2 decades. From research labs to trading firms, from academia to Silicon Valley, from institution building to AI startups, the exam remained the same. But the ambitions surrounding it changed dramatically. One detail stands out immediately. Across these 20 years, not a single woman secured AIR 1 in IIT-JEE. Every topper in this list was male. Another pattern becomes visible almost immediately. In the early 2000s, toppers were spread across IIT Kanpur, IIT Delhi, IIT Madras and IIT Bombay. But after 2007, a strong pattern emerged. Most AIR 1 holders began choosing computer science engineering at IIT Bombay. That shift itself says something about changing aspirations, because by then, IIT Bombay computer science had increasingly become the clearest gateway into global technology companies, AI labs and quantitative finance firms. And the careers of these toppers reflect exactly that transition. Let's begin in 2000. Nitin Gupta secured AIR 1 in IIT-JEE in 2000 and chose computer science at IIT Kanpur at a time when IIT Bombay had not yet become the overwhelming preference among toppers. His career trajectory now feels very different from many later AIR 1 holders. Instead of moving towards finance or global product companies, Gupta chose research. During his 4th year at IIT Kanpur, he found himself choosing between industry and academia. And he deliberately chose research. He later worked in bioinformatics, neuroscience and behavioral science, spending years at institutions such as University of California, San Diego and the National Institutes of Health in the United States. But what makes his story important is what happened later. He returned to India and joined IIT Kanpur to help build research ecosystem here. Speaking to ThePrint, Gupta said, "I had two options. One was industry and other was research. Industry was more market oriented, while research gave me freedom. I wanted to contribute to my country. The money is less, but the satisfaction from research is much greater. I stayed abroad for years, but I always knew I had to return. Movies like Swadesh inspired me." That idea of eventually returning to India appears repeatedly among several early 2000 toppers. The next AIR 1 holder reflects another face of India's engineering ecosystem, Arvind Tyagarajan. After securing All India Rank 1 in 2001, Arvind Tyagarajan joined IIT Madras, again showing how toppers at the time were still distributed across different IITs instead of clustering heavily around IIT Bombay. From IIT Madras, he moved to MIT for a PhD. But unlike older academic trajectories that remained confined to universities, Tyagarajan became part of a new global model, where research increasingly shifted into large technology companies. His work became associated with firms such as Amazon and Google. His trajectory represents a bridge generation. People deeply trained in theoretical computer science and advanced research, but working inside giant technology ecosystem where research directly powers products and platforms. Then comes Dungra Ram Chaudhary. After topping IIT-JEE in 2002, Chaudhary joined IIT Kanpur. His story is particularly significant because of where he came from, rural Rajasthan. Unlike many toppers who later pursued higher education abroad, Chaudhary moved directly into the global technology industry. Over time, he built a long career at Oracle, rising into senior engineering leadership positions. His trajectory reflects a quieter but increasingly common path. Not academia, not entrepreneurship, but deep influence inside global technology corporations. Then comes Shashank Dwivedi. By 2003, IIT Bombay was beginning to emerge more strongly among top rankers, and Dwivedi chose electrical engineering there. After IIT Bombay, he pursued a master's degree at MIT. Initially, his path looked deeply academic, but later he transitioned into finance and corporate roles, eventually joining Deutsche Bank. And this becomes an important trend later. Global finance firms increasingly began recruiting IIT graduates aggressively because of their quantitative problem-solving abilities. Many engineering toppers slowly moved into mathematically intensive finance roles. Then comes Sushant Sachdeva. Sachdeva chose computer science at IIT Bombay at a time when the institute was steadily becoming the dominant preference among AIR-1 holders. But unlike many later IIT Bombay computer science graduates who moved into finance or product engineering, Sachdeva stayed deeply committed to theoretical computer science. After IIT Bombay, he moved to Princeton University for doctoral research in algorithms and theoretical computer science. Today, he teaches at the University of Toronto, Mississauga, and is also associated with OpenAI. His trajectory reflects how modern frontier AI research increasingly overlaps with elite theoretical computer science. Then comes Piyush Srivastava. Srivastava chose IIT Kanpur. After IIT Kanpur, he pursued a PhD at the University of California, Berkeley. And then, like several early generation toppers, he returned to India. Today, he works at Tata Institute of Fundamental Research in Mumbai. Again, the idea of contributing to Indian research institutions appears strongly here. Another topper from this era is Raghu Mahajan. Raghu Mahajan initially joined IIT Delhi, but after 2 years, he moved to MIT for undergraduate studies and later entered elite research ecosystems at Cambridge and Stanford. Unlike many late toppers who moved into finance and startups, Mahajan remained deeply committed to theoretical physics. Eventually, he too returned to India and joined ICTS TIFR in Bengaluru. Then comes a major transition phase, Achin Bansal. By this point, IIT Bombay Computer Science had become the dominant aspiration among top JEE rankers. Bansal's career reflects another shift that would later become extremely common among AIR-1 holders: quantitative finance. Armed with elite mathematical and analytical skills, he entered global finance roles, where problem-solving ability carried enormous market value. Then comes Shritikant Kashyap. Kashyap followed the now emerging IIT Bombay Computer Science route before pursuing advanced research at the University of Waterloo in Canada. But instead of joining a large global technology company, he returned to India and entered the fintech startup ecosystem. This reflects another major shift in Indian aspirations. By the 2010s, entrepreneurship itself had become aspirational, building startups, creating products, raising venture capital. These increasingly became prestigious career outcomes for IIT toppers. Then comes Nitin Jain. Nitin Jain chose computer science at IIT Delhi. Unlike many earlier toppers, he did not pursue higher studies abroad immediately after graduation. Instead, he moved directly into core engineering roles at major global technology firms. His journey reflects how the IIT to global tech pipeline had now become fully established. Then comes Anumulla Jitendra Reddy. Reddy chose IIT Bombay Computer Science during the phase when it had firmly become the default destination for many AIR-1 holders. But his later trajectory resembles older research-oriented toppers. After IIT Bombay, he moved into neuroinformatics at ETH Zurich, combining neuroscience and artificial intelligence. His work reflects the rise of interdisciplinary research fields powered by AI and computation. Then comes one of the most unusual trajectories on this list, Prithvi Tej Immadi. Immadi joined IIT Bombay and briefly worked at Samsung after graduation. But instead of staying in technology or finance, he prepared for UPSC. He later secured All India rank 24 in the Civil Services examination and joined the IAS. Among these 20 toppers, his trajectory stands apart sharply. Because by the 2010s, most elite engineering graduates were moving away from bureaucracy towards technology and finance. Immadi reversed the trend. Then comes Arpit Agrawal. Like many toppers of his generation, Agrawal chose IIT Bombay Computer Science. And his eventual move into Tower Research Capital reflects one of the clearest shifts among post-2010 toppers, the rise of quantitative trading. Algorithm finance firms increasingly began recruiting elite IIT graduates for mathematically intensive roles. The salaries were massive, the competition was intense, and IIT-trained problem solvers fit perfectly into that ecosystem. Then comes Pallerla Sai Sandeep Reddy. Reddy chose IIT Bombay Computer Science and later pursued a PhD at Carnegie Mellon University, followed by a postdoctoral work at Berkeley. His trajectory reflects a hybrid path increasingly visible among modern toppers. Elite research combined with global technology ecosystem. Then comes one of the India's most unconventional decisions among AIR1 holders, Chitrang Murdia. After securing All India Rank 1 and joined IIT Bombay, Murdia left IIT within a year. Instead, he moved to MIT to pursue physics. This was rare and symbolically important because for some toppers, IIT itself was no longer the final aspiration. Global research university increasingly became more attractive. That same trend becomes even more visible with Satwat Jagwani. Like Murdia, Jagwani also left IIT Bombay and moved to MIT. This reflects a broader shift in perception. For decades, IIT represented the peak aspiration of engineering talent in India. But by the mid-2010s, some toppers increasingly viewed elite international university as offering stronger research ecosystem and broader opportunities. Jagwani later moved into Silicon Valley engineering roles. Then comes Aman Bansal. Bansal followed what had by now become the dominant pipeline, IIT Bombay Computer Science, then Stanford, then the Silicon Valley AI startup ecosystem. His journey reflects the explosive rise of artificial intelligence entrepreneurship after 2015. Then comes Sarvesh Mehtani. Mehtani chose IIT Bombay Computer Science like the other toppers and later moved into proprietary trading firms. Again, quantitative finance emerges as a major destination for elite mathematical talent. And then comes perhaps the clearest example of this trend, Pranav Goyal. After IIT Bombay Computer Science, Goyal moved into Jane Street, one of the world's most elite quantitative trading firms. His trajectory perfectly captures the post-2015 shift among toppers. Not academia, not traditional engineering, but mathematically intense global finance. Finally comes Kartikeya Gupta. Gupta too followed the now dominant IIT Bombay Computer Science route. And his career reflects perhaps the strongest modern pattern among IIT toppers: direct integration into global technology hiring pipelines and elite product engineering ecosystems. And when all these trajectories are viewed together, the broader transformation becomes impossible to miss. In the early 2000s, academia and research still had enormous prestige among top rankers. Several pursued PhDs, several returned to India. Institution building mattered, but by the late 2000s and especially after 2015, the aspiration map changed dramatically. Finance, AI, startups, Silicon Valley, quantitative trading, global technology firms. These increasingly became the preferred destination. The exam remained the same, but as the world changed and technology evolved, so did the aspirations of IIT-JEE toppers. For more such interesting videos, please subscribe to The Print.